Hello everyone. We discuss here applications of radioisotopes. In previous lecture we already discussed what are radioisotopes and use of radioisotopes as a tracers. In this lecture we discuss applications of radioisotopes as a tracers. First application of radioisotope, there may be in a question paper 5 marks question on this point, that is discuss the applications of radioisotopes for 5 marks. Here 3 applications are required to explain in detail. First application is to study the reaction mechanism. Study of reaction mechanism. Consider in explanation the rate of reaction and reaction mechanism can be studied by labeling one of the reactant. The mechanism or pathway of several chemical reactions like Friedel-Crafts reaction, ester hydrolysis reaction, and oxidation reduction reaction, etc., can be studied using these labeling techniques. For example, consider Friedel-Crafts reaction, that is benzyl Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction. Benzene plus acetyl chloride in presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride as a catalyst that gives that acetophenone and HCl. In this reaction, HCl generated as a byproduct. In any chemical reaction, we already known that some bonds are breaking of old bonds and generation of some new bonds are formed in chemical. This is chemical reaction. In this reaction, what happens here? HCl is generated as a byproduct. Then question is that generated HCl, that chlorine atom comes from whether acetyl chloride or aluminum chloride. This one is question, whether that HCl coming from acetyl chloride or aluminum chloride. For that purpose, if we label aluminum chloride, if we take that anhydrous aluminum chloride with labeled chlorine atoms, that Cl atom is here labeled, that is radioactive isotope is used. Then if HCl obtained is radioactive, if HCl obtained shows properties of radioactivity, that indicate that in this reaction that HCl, that Cl coming from aluminum chloride, and therefore we write the reaction way, reaction mechanism, reaction pathway as like this: acetyl chloride, that carbonyl group, that is oxygen of carbonyl group possessing 2 lone pairs, first attack on aluminum in anhydrous aluminum chloride. That aluminum in anhydrous aluminum chloride is electron deficient. Why that one is electron deficient? Because if we consider outermost shell electrons in aluminum, that shows that there are 6 electrons. And for stability we know that require 8 electron in outermost shell. Therefore aluminum chloride, aluminum are always try to accept electrons. Therefore that approaches towards, that lone pair approaches towards aluminum, and that intermediate generated as shown in this reaction. There is bonding between van der Waals bonding between that oxygen and aluminium. Then that intermediate rearrangement takes place as shown in reaction, and that Cl from acetyl chloride again goes towards aluminium, and aluminium oxygen, which one is generated, that one is again breaking of that bond takes place. Then loss of removal of one chlorine from that aluminum trichloride takes place, and that chlorine, removed chlorine accept Cl minus accept one hydrogen, and finally we obtain hydrogen as a product proton, that is without electron, and that intermediate, which one is non-aromatic, is finally converted into acetophenone. The driving force for last step is non-aromaticity to aromaticity. In this way we write this mechanism. What is proof for this mechanism? That HCl obtained with radioisotope, that is shows properties of radioactivity. Then we discuss next reaction, that is ester hydrolysis. If we consider ester hydrolysis, ester, that is which functional group? RCOOR dash. R dash may be same, may be different. Then in hydrolysis, what is meaning of hydrolysis? Addition of water. That hydro means water, lysis means break down. During addition of water, breaking of that water molecule takes place. One H as a breaking takes place as a OH and H. OH and H. Ester is a large molecule, and during addition of water, that hydrolysis takes place in presence of acid or in presence of a base as a catalyst. Then in ester hydrolysis, one product is acid and other product is alcohol. One is acid and other is alcohol. Then what is the question? That reaction takes place, if we consider here in reaction, whether first bond is break or second one is break. That is reaction proceed by breaking of first bond, that is first bond is known as acyl oxygen bond. Acyl and oxygen, that acyl group, RCO is known as acyl group, and oxygen, first bond is known as acyl oxygen bond. Whether reaction takes place by breaking off or fission of acyl oxygen bond, or whether reaction takes place by breaking off alkyl oxygen bond, that R dash O bond, R dash is alkyl group, therefore that bond R dash O bond is second bond, which is alkyl oxygen bond. Reaction takes place whether breaking off first bond, that is acyl oxygen bond cleavage, or whether reaction takes place by second bond cleavage, that is alkyl oxygen cleavage. This one is a question, and if we got answer of this question with certain proof, then we can write the mechanism or pathway of this reaction. Then how will you use that radioisotope to judge, to find out which bond breaking takes place in this reaction? For that purpose, consider water here with labeled oxygen, that is with radioactive isotope. Then if we carry out the reaction, then if that product generated, if acid is radioactive, carboxylic acid obtained is if radioactive, that indicate that a reaction takes place by breaking of first bond, that is acyl oxygen cleavage takes place. And if alcohol obtained is radioactive, then what is the situation? That means OH, R dash, OH from water and R dash here, that comes together. That means reaction takes place by second bond cleavage. Here in shown example, acid obtained is radioactive, therefore reaction proceeds through first bond cleavage, that is acyl oxygen bond cleavage. By this way, we write the mechanism of reaction using radioisotope as a tracer. Then next application is a photosynthesis reaction. We know the photosynthesis reaction takes place in plants, leaves of every living plants. That reaction is very simple, but not possible in laboratory, in any laboratory in the world. That means plant is greater, very great, nature is great, because reaction takes place in very small part of plant, that is leaves, is not possible in any lab in the world. That reaction is 6 molecules of carbon dioxide combined with water molecule in presence of catalyst chlorophyll, which is a green catalyst exists in plant leaves, that convert that carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates and oxygen. Which is our requirement of all living organisms, that is carbohydrates and oxygen. Then here, what is the question in reaction? Here the question is that oxygen generated in photosynthesis, oxygen evolved in photosynthesis, whether coming from water or carbon dioxide. Whether coming from water or carbon dioxide is the question. And for that purpose, if we consider that water with labeled oxygen, then if oxygen obtained, oxygen evolved is if radioactive, then that indicate that oxygen emitted oxygen coming from water and not coming from carbon dioxide. And if that oxygen emitted is non-radioactive, check their activity. If that one is non-radioactive, that indicate that oxygen coming from carbon dioxide. In this way, by using radioisotope, we judge the reaction mechanism of any chemical reaction. The next application under this heading, under first heading, that is use of radioisotope as for study of reaction mechanism. For that purpose, remember these 3 examples, that is photosynthesis, ester hydrolysis and Friedel-Crafts reaction. Remember these 3. Prepare that 3 examples. Then next application which will be asked independently, independent question is That one is age determination, use of radioisotope as for age determination. That is W. Leavitt's carbon 14 dating method. C14 dating method. C14 dating method. The radioisotope of carbon exists in nature everywhere, in living, all that living world, that is living environment, plant as well as animals, plant as well as animals, that are made up from carbon. That are made up from carbon. All living organisms, that is plants as well as animals, are made up from carbon, and carbon have their isotope that exist in isotopic forms. That not, and out of that all isotopes, carbon 14 is radioactive isotope. Carbon 14 is radioactive isotope. And carbon 12, which exists in 99% in nature, that one is non-radioactive. Then by using C14, which is radioactive isotope, as a label or tag, we can determine age of, not by labeling, but since that one is already exist in plants, because all that plant body is nothing but carbon body, then out of that carbon, some minute part is C14, which is radioactive. That means plants and our body also consist carbon material, and therefore that one is also shows some radioactivity. But that carbon 14 percentage is very small, and therefore that radioactivity is not considerable. In plant, if you consider very large plant, then that material C14 is considerable amount, and therefore radioactivity rate is also considerable. From our body, that rate is not considerable. Then CO2 is that radioisotope of carbon, that is C14, present in atmosphere, has fixed percentage. And has half-life 5730 years. CO2 is taken by plants for the process of photosynthesis. During that CO2 taken, both C12 and C14 that are absorbed from atmosphere. Therefore, in the plant body, that C14 and C12 percentage is always constant and same as a percentage exists in a atmosphere. During the life of plant, whenever that plant is a living condition, then that plant maintain an equilibrium between C14 inside the plant body and C14 in the atmosphere, that is outside the plant body. Therefore, when the plants die, the intake of C14 from the atmosphere stops. Intake of C14 from the atmosphere inside the plant stops because plant die. And that intake stops after dying, and C14 and C14 inside the plant decay process of that C14 takes place as like this. C14 converted into nitrogen 714 by loss of one electron. Then if the C14 activity in a living plant and dead plant are compared, that is, if we find any plant material and if we measure the activity and if we compare that activity with any living plant, then there is difference in activities. Then from that difference we judge the age of radioactive element using the formula lambda is equal to 2.303 upon T into log of 10 N0 upon N. Here T lambda is decay constant, which one is known to you. T is age of that wooden piece or that wooden material. N0 is original amount or original activity of living plant, and N is activity of that wooden piece. Activity we already know that directly proportional to amount of that radioactive element. In living plant, living wood of that living plant, that amount is more, therefore N0 is greater than N, because that in a piece of that wooden piece, that amount is, because of decay process, amount is less as compared to that living plant. Therefore, from that difference, using this formula, we judge the age of, that is small t, value of small t, which is the age of that wooden piece. Professor Willard Levy is awarded Nobel Prize in chemistry in 1960 for this carbon dating technique. Thank you very much.